So, let's dive in with a question a lot of service providers have. When applying for accreditation, can companies use their existing global credentials like ISO certifications or proof of e-invoicing experience instead of getting fresh ones just for the UAE?
Actually, yes, and that's really helpful for providers working internationally. If you already have an ISO 27001 or OpenPeppal PKI certificate, or you've got documented e-invoicing experience elsewhere, you can absolutely use those same credentials for your UAE application.
That's a relief for a lot of companies who don't want to start the paperwork all over again. But I heard there's an exception when it comes to business continuity. What's the deal there?
Yeah, that's one spot where you need to pay close attention. For the ISO 22301 Business Continuity Certification, it specifically has to be in the name of the legal entity that will actually deliver e-invoicing for UAE customers. So, your global certificate won't cut it for that one.
Switching gears a bit, I know some applicants get stuck because they can't track down their proof of paid-up capital. Is that a deal breaker right off the bat?
Not necessarily. You're allowed to go ahead and submit your application even if you don't have that document in hand. But you'll need to include a couple of things: proof you've applied for the paid-up capital certificate from the Ministry of Economy, and a document showing when you expect to get it.
So you're not blocked from moving forward, but there's a ticking clock. You have to submit the actual proof by a certain deadline, right?
Exactly. If you miss that deadline, unfortunately, your application won't be processed, so it's all about keeping things on track and communicating those timelines clearly.
That makes sense. Now, a lot of foreign companies wonder, do they have to set up a completely independent UAE company, or can they just use a local branch office for accreditation?
Here's the good news: you've got flexibility. You can either register a branch in the UAE under your existing foreign company, or you can form a brand new legal entity that operates under a service agreement with your headquarters. The key is that whichever route you choose, you need to meet all the accreditation requirements.
That's helpful. And just to clarify, if a branch office is licensed to do business in the UAE, even if it's not a separate company, it still counts for the license to conduct business rule?
Yep, as long as the branch is officially licensed in the UAE, it qualifies. Just be ready to provide all the documentation listed on the Service Provider Accreditation portal.
That actually reminds me, experience requirements can be pretty tricky. If a company built and implemented an e-invoicing solution in another country, does that experience count for UAE accreditation?
It does, but there's a catch. You need to show at least 2 years of hands-on experience, and you have to actually have a working e-invoicing product that could be rolled out in the UAE. It can't just be a one-off project.
And what sort of documentation do they need to prove all that?
The authorities are looking for solid, verifiable proof like customer references, certifications, white papers, or records showing your implementations in other countries. Just make sure it's clear and specific. Vague claims won't get you far.
I've heard even things like API integration work or compliance handling under a different country's rules can count, as long as you can demonstrate it. Is that right?
Absolutely, as long as you can show that you've delivered e-invoicing solutions, including technical aspects like APIs and compliance, and it adds up to 2 years or more. The key is having documentation to back it up.
Speaking of documentation, insurance policies come up a lot too. When does the insurance for an e-invoicing solution actually need to start?
That's a good one. The insurance policy needs to kick in from the moment your e-invoicing solution is production ready. The exact start date depends on when the Peppal environment is up and running for Pint A, and the Ministry of Finance will tell you when that is.
Thanks for clarifying. One last thing, the whole first 100 free e-invoices rule. Can service providers charge for setup or implementation while offering those free invoices?
They can, actually. The ASP and the business work out those commercial details between themselves. What's non-negotiable is that every customer gets at least 100 free e-invoices per year.
And just to drive it home, those 100 free invoices are per customer, not spread across all your clients, right?
Exactly. Each customer gets their own batch of 100 free e-invoices annually. No bundling or sharing allowed. It's a clean, per-customer requirement.